Damn, we need a clap. You want to do the clap, Ty?
Clap. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna put it up here because I know
you can plug it in right here.
I know
next
it's in
to
the
Yoh's book bag, so it can charge.
Yeah, I know it was in the shot.
So we are back for another episode of Fuck You Money.
Yes, we are.
I'm Yoh. This is
Ty.
And we are, where we at, Ty?
We're in Hollywood.
We in Hollywood.
Yeah, we're in Hollywood. Bro, you have no clue how much I enjoy not having to hog around mics and headphones.
Yeah, right?
And like,
it makes it real easy.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a young lady named Ebony about doing the show. Mm-hmm. And she was like, the way she was talking is like we was doing a podcast. I was like, no, this is like a conversation we barely have on mics. She was like, oh. I said, I'm going to send you an episode and you can see it. You can decide then if you want to do it.
Right.
She was like, I'll do it if I can bring my whole staff of Black women that I'm doing. I said, that's preferred.
Bring the game.
Yeah, so, you know. But, yeah, we in Hollywood, BT Awards week. Right. It's been light, though. Well, Juneteenth had it popping.
Popping, for sure.
Yeah, they set their week off.
We went out there, me, Vanessa, and Crook. Mm-hmm. And it was cool. It was beautiful, actually. Yep. Black people galore. We got out before it got dark, so I can't tell you.
You didn't realize that many Black people in Hollywood, huh?
I did not realize, you know. But BET weekend for you. What was your first BET weekend?
My first BET weekend? That's a great question. I can't remember, bro.
Okay.
It had to be. I know my first BET weekend that I remember was 2018 Lemon Pepper Wet.
Yeah.
Lemon Pepper Wet had just started. And we had did Lemon Pepper Wet. This before I really got involved. PK was doing it. We did it at this spot called I can't remember the name of the spot because they didn't pay PK their money.
Okay.
So that's all
you forget them.
But it was one of those spots where like a speakeasy, you walk in, it was a porn store. And then when you get through it, boom, it was a bar, right?
Okay.
And they hold about 150 people.
Okay.
And BET week that year, 2018, that shit was nuts. I wasn't there. I was in Miami because we was working on Sunder's album that never came out. But that was when I got back PK like, but that shit was crazy. We had a line around the building. And then the niggas weren't paying the money that they had agreed to, so we ended up moving. Adults only. That was the name.
Adults only. Okay.
Adults only. So, you know. But yeah, that was the BET award I actually remember vividly. And that was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember any other BET awards outside of looking at it on TV. Mm-hmm. Actually being in the city and shit like that. Nah, I don't remember none of that.
So you also have a game night that you incorporate during these, I guess, festive periods.
Yeah, like like I went outside. I used to be outside so much. Mm-hmm. Like promoting parties, throwing parties, clubs, in and out when we was in Atlanta growing up. That this year I was like, man, I want to start doing more kickbacks, right? Mm-hmm. So we started doing like these culture kickbacks. But mine really just started as like a game night because I like to play like dice and pool and cards and different type of games. So I would rent out these houses, Airbnb them, and then I would invite like 20 people, max. And it usually be like managers, people that really don't fuck with the shit the same way we don't fuck with the shit.
Yeah.
And just bring them all together. But this week for BET Awards, I had found this location in the Roosevelt Hotel that's like a game room. It's called the Spare Room. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do our culture game night there tonight. But we got about 150 people on the guest list.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, music at times is called the game.
Yeah.
People refer the music business as the game. You know, you're playing the game, you're in the game, you want to get in the game. What is the game to you, Ty?
The game is more like the politics of it, right? You got to figure out how to take the game and use it so that you are healthy through the experience, right? Some people don't come out on the other side of the game, put together well. Rather, they don't went through, drug abuse, or they don't went through alcoholism or some level of abuse or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the game is really, really, really politically driven about who you know,
where you are,
how much money you might have, how much money you're willing to invest, what type of risk you're willing to take. But a lot of it is about who you know and how much are you willing to allow these different individuals to participate in your business or in the interests of your journey. I think that's a very heavy thing about the politics in the game, you know what I'm saying, that you hear people talk about. The tap dancing, a lot of those different aspects of it. Like, you got to play the game if you want to get these different results. And it's a real thing, and it's really just about there's always a person sitting at a position who are trying to take advantage of everything in front of them to get the best results out of what they add value-wise to the position they're in, right? So if somebody been knowing somebody for 20 plus years, and you bring, that person they know for 20 years, they bring the artist that they're working with or the athlete they're working with or the DJ they're working with to the table who's talented enough, right? But then they got somebody else that come to the table who's extremely more talented. You can tell they're more talented, but they ain't attached to that 20-year relationship.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now the game started to be in place. So you got to basically be like, dang, I'm not going to get this opportunity because I'm not attached to this 20-year relationship. Versus if I were to attach myself to this 20-year relationship, I'm going to be in the game, but am I willing to pay what it costs?
Because 20 years in the game, that's a lot of points you have accumulated.
Yeah. And you can't beat time.
Nah.
Can't beat time. If somebody that's in a position got a homeboy that his whole move is to work the set, he know that my man's going to get broken off, you're talking about, at the end of the day, they're gonna make the money and they're gonna leverage their relationships for the bread.
Absolutely. And do you feel like that's a fair part of the game, or is that just the game?
I feel like it's the game. I think it's unfair when you are predatory, when it comes to predatory, right? So let's say I charge 5%. No matter what I do, I charge 5%, right? Pertaining to the music business. So I'm like, okay, let's say all my partners that I've been known for 10, 15 plus years, they all work at record labels.
Okay.
And I tell a young artist like, yo, if you come fuck with me, give me 5%, I'll make sure that your deal go how it's supposed to go. And I keep my word. I make the deal go how it's supposed to go, interest on my 5%, right? Somebody else come to me and like, yo, I want you to do what you did for him, but can I pay you 2.5%? I'm like, well, I don't really know if I want to do that because, my fee is my fee.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. And, there's going to be people in that situation that are extremely talented that you're not going to do anything with just because you're not being able to get your fee for your services, right? Now, if you tell a person based on who they are and you see that they need your help the most and you charge them the most, like, well, you give me 25%, and I'll make it do what it need to do, right? Then I think that it's like, it's not fair then because now you're doing it based on where I'm at on the food chain versus your fee is your fee.
And you can take advantage of me.
Yeah, that's another part of it as well. So I think that in this business, you can find your way being predatory or you can find your way not being predatory, but you can make the same amount of money.
Okay.
Whether you're predatory or not. It might take you a little longer when you're not predatory, but it might be more of a real thing.
And all that's based on principles.
1,000%.
But on the other side of it, it's the players, right? Now, how you want to play the game is various per person. Not everyone's playing the game the same.
No, not everybody play. I was just having this conversation before I got here where somebody will come to an artist and they'll want to use their song for a campaign. Right? No matter what the campaign is. And the person that comes to the artist when they use the campaign, they're like, boom, I want to use campaign, reputable company with the whoop. And then when the artist gets the actual license agreement, like the fee in the license agreement is $0. right? I'm just like, yo, this ain't no money. Like they want it for free. Mm-hmm. And then we started talking about this concept of, it's a part of playing the game, right? Now, if this person would have came to me and said, yo, I want this, I want you to participate in the campaign. I really don't got no money because I'm kind of scrapped because the brand is a bigger brand, but they gave me a smaller budget because of the type of thing I got going on. Mm-hmm. But you always I'm gonna owe you a favor. Always. If you do this for me, I'm gonna owe you a favor. And that's a part of the game, right? But when you don't lead with that, and then the artists and their team get disagreement and it's $0, you're like, bro, like, you just want me to do it for free, just to do it for free?
Right.
And I think that a lot of playing the game, whether it's fair or unfair, is really about how you speak to the people that you want to participate in this game you're building. Mm-hmm. And leading with them very honestly before the thing gets to where it's at, right?
Right.
And that way, the game can feel like, man, you know what, this actually, you know what I'm saying? I can fuck with this game.
Yeah.
Because there's some games I can fuck with and there's other games I can't fuck with.
Right.
Right. When it comes to paying producers fairly, you know what I'm saying? I can play with that game. When it comes to paying producers or songwriters or not paying songwriters at all, I can't play with that game. It ain't gonna feel right. Mm-hmm.
Now, is there a game, like a video game, a sports game, something that you find comparable to the music business?
Game of Thrones.
DJ Don Cannon told me that.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, buddy.
He said, you are the Game of Thrones, you're going to start to see the music business play out.
Because everybody can get it. Ain't no starters. Everybody can get their head knocked off when it comes to, you have one person. Like you look at different artists, and I try my best not to name no artists on these type of shows that had like a bad demise, because I don't want to add on to their story, keep being told in a negative way. But you have artists that was on top in their segment of whatever it is, and it's multiple that can come to mind, and they do some dumb shit off of their heads. You know what I'm saying? It's called a cancer. You're getting counseled now. You know what I'm saying?
Off your head, though.
And it's a real thing. It doesn't matter how hot you is. It doesn't matter, like even like a big artist brand that's a global brand, they would have to do some wild shit for it to be off of them heads. But like those middle tier, you know what I'm saying? You CB, them CBers.
C+.
Boy, you better not put they in your damn bio wrong. Boy, they gonna get you up out of here.
I'm not even touching that.
Don't even get the pronouns wrong, but they gonna get you out of here. Because of the way people see how it's a way that when you're on top of something, whether you're a news anchor, whether you are a TV host, whether you're an artist or song, if you're in the public eye and you do something that's not to the public liking, you're at will for crucifixion. Like it's nothing you can do. Because what people fail to realize is they get into these moments and these positions.
Right.
And they are more likely to their mistakes to be blown out of proportion. Right? Know how big or small the mistakes are.
They're more recognized.
1,000%. I remember telling my business partner before we had a disagreement about I probably should have said something to this woman that was, that we was trying to do business with, but she was like disrespectful to one of my teammates. And I remember telling her, I'm like, man, I can't be getting no confrontation with no woman. I said, I'm giving away too much information. They wait for a nigga like me to do some dumb shit before they can run me through the ringer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you are...
It puts a target on your back.
Yeah, my loud ass mouth, man, I can't be doing nothing. Boy, I got to be like Obama clean. Anything that they catch up with me that happened pre-2017.
You got to clean your Twitter. You don't want to get your old tweets. Find something, But I do think it's something...
I stand behind my old tweets, though.
don't say
I
that.
can run for president.
They'll start looking.
I remember every last one of my reckless tweets.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. Stand behind every last one of them. Because I always said to myself, I always knew what game I was playing with Twitter and all those different types of things, right? So I'm just like, in real life, I'm not gonna say nothing that I ain't gonna say to somebody face in person.
But how old were you when you got on Twitter?
I got on Twitter in 2000. I remember telling Tez, man, we gotta get on this Twitter shit, man. I heard 50 Cent talking about this shit.
Oh, okay.
This is like 2000, maybe 6?
Yeah.
Maybe. I was on Twitter long. I didn't get on Instagram.
Wait, you was on Twitter in
2011.
2006?
Yeah, I didn't get on Instagram until 2011.
Mm.
The first and second year that Twitter started, I was on it.
That's early.
Yeah, I was on Twitter. I should have way more followers.
Were you Worldwide Ty at that time, or did you have another name?
I can't remember. I think it was always Worldwide Ty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got on Twitter in 2009. So I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we got on is because Ludacris used to do these battle of the sexes questions. And my boy was like, bro, we gotta be finding this shit out, bro. This is where you're gonna get all your information from. So, but we 18 though. So no one's paying attention to us. It's us. We got 5 followers talking to each other. I know for sure this dumb shit was said. We were dumb. We were some dumbass kids. There's no supervision. And I think out of all my friends, I was the only one that had a Twitter account that had any kind of like reach at a certain point. So sometimes even the people you're around, y'all might be playing the kid game, right? You don't know who's gonna mature into the adult game version of what y'all doing, but it's still the stuff you did during it as a kid that can come back and get you as an adult.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, listen, I know none of my shit. It's just gonna come back and be like, yeah, I mean, I would have said the same thing too.
I don't think I got nothing too bad.
Yeah.
But it's just being a kid. I think that's one thing about social media now. Or even coming into the industry, I just came across this kid that said, my man put me on. Portrait of Tracy is his name, from Baton Rouge. Put out an album, really good album. Mm-hmm. But he told me he's 18 years old and that he's produced everything by himself. And I like the kid because he has like, his following came from YouTube because he was deconstructing Tyler the Creator songs and putting them back together. So you might have like an 80s version of Earthquake, or he might take the drums off of like Yonkers or something like that. So I'm like, man, this kid is hard. So we was talking about, but at 18, what could keep him out of the game? Yeah. You know, this was a conversation me and my boy was having, and he's just like, it could be money. You know, money might cause him to try to make some songs to get on, or maybe it's not being collaborative. Yeah. You know, you might want to
be key.
You know, so you might not have the proper relationships to get you there. Especially like you say, you see talent, someone got it, like, okay. But again, you have to, depending on where you want to go, you have to play the game in some capacity.
Yeah, you got to play the game. You got to figure out what game that you can build that's complementary. You know what I'm saying? I always played the community game. Like, I'm going to invest into your community, invest into my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to support you, support me. Right. And like, you know, that always going to supersede the politics. And like, when you lead with that, like, yo, we're a community, you know, I got some water, you got some sand. You want to get some of my sand, I want to get some of your water. And let's just run it like that. And we can do that forever.
Yeah, we got a beach.
We don't got to be on the same team necessarily. You know what I'm saying? We don't got to like take from one another. You don't have to own me. I don't have to own you. And if there's an opportunity that comes and you feel like it's a good fit, then let's do it. But I'm building the ecosystem that I can stand on my own and add value to your community so that you're not just investing into something that don't turn around and help you drive, you know, your community to drive like a value proposition.
Right. But as you're getting better at the game, right? As your version of the game develops and you need to bring more people in to help expand, right? How do you go about sourcing out the people, sourcing out the players, and making sure you're only associating yourself with the proper players that's playing the game the way you want to play the game?
My strategy was to just get people that wasn't from the music business. Or people that was trying to get in that didn't really have no bad, I guess, taste or bad experiences just yet. There was some people that we worked with that had enough industry experience that already been tainted. You got to change their thinking. But for the most part, I'm trying to hire people that's like fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat.
Yeah.
Like, that you don't really know much and you're learning our way.
Got you.
That the record label way or the traditional way is going to be foreign to you. So that's what I've been doing.
You're instilling the culture way.
Yeah,
essentially.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Do you find it to be effective? Like that, like installation period?
Like 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Because even though a person might be new to the game of the business, they've been watching it their entire life, especially if they're super passionate about it.
Right.
So they might just see it as, man, I got to go work at Def Jam. I always wanted to work at Def Jam.
That's always been the dream.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's just an example where it's like the history that you grew up watching. Sometimes we can be, when you're a fan of the game, you're not going to feel fulfilled until you play the game.
Yeah, until you get
all
the way in.
And then the game going to tell you if you really like it when you're playing it.
Because the scary part is, it's kind of like Twitch now, right? You can watch someone else play the game. You do not have to buy the game. You don't got to have a PlayStation to watch someone play the PS5.
Nope.
But if you want a PS5, let's say you finally get one, you finally buy the game, and it's nothing like you thought it was going to be.
No.
Nothing like the guy on Twitch playing it. This is, maybe it's more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some shit don't work the way you thought it was going to work, but it don't look the way it did on Twitch. I find that to be, there's a reality check point, 100%. I think, in this business that everyone undergoes. Yeah. You feel like you had a reality check?
1,000%.
Yeah.
My reality check was, I witnessed in real time that you can grow your business faster if you got the right people that is invested into your business, right? And I was just hell-bent on like, man, fuck that. Like, this shit's good, marketing is good, we're gonna pay our money, whatever the case may be. And you still will get opportunities.
Right.
But boy, that shit will not look like how it looks when you have like the right strategic partner. And we're not talking about a strategic partner that's taking 50, 30, 40% of what you're doing. You can just talk about a strategic partner that you might be doing an 80-20 with, right? But you done built up your shit to the point where it adds value to their community.
Yeah.
So it's in their best interest to take their 20% and really show you that you should stay in their community. You know what I'm saying? You know, just the reality of how people treat you when you tell them no. Right. I used to have this conversation with a few of my clients, like, man, we was coming up and we wanted to work with this artist or feature on this artist, and we'll get told no. We'll just be like, dang, just keep working. But now we're in a position, and it's multiple talents, multiple clients, and they're like, no, I don't really want to do that. And then I deliver that information to the manager or whatever, and it's like they got an attitude. I'm like, damn, I never was like that. Like when I was told no, it just made me work hard. Like, well, shit, I guess we ain't hot enough. You know what I'm saying? Just keep working. I guess we ain't got enough money to afford you, and just keep working. But I never was like, man, fuck that nigga, man. He don't want to work with me. Like, I didn't never take it so personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But people do take no's personally.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess people investing their life into this shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you tell them no, they feel like you telling like them no.
Yeah, right. You telling them the physical person no.
Like you telling
shutting
them,
me down.
Like your dreams are gonna never come true, nigga. Get the fuck out of my face. That's how they feel.
The rejection.
Yeah, the rejection be real.
But that's not how you play the game. You're not saying no to a person.
No. It's just the opportunity.
Yeah.
I was just saying no to the opportunity. And sometimes you just saying you might say no to opportunity and turn back around and have to be like, yes, I fucked up. yes, I changed my mind.
That's funny as hell though, because it's true. Like, I don't know. I don't know how often I didn't turn around. Like, hey, my bad. I changed my mind. Yeah. Because I tried.
No, I ain't never did that. But I've known of people just from my experience.
But I think it's necessary to know you should leave yourself open to do that.
1,000%. Bro, I bullshit you not. I remember when I was working with Forte Bowie, and Forte was like, he wanted to be Michael Jackson. Right? Like, I want to be Michael Jackson big. So in my mind, when an artist tells me they want to be Michael Jackson big, I'm thinking about, I'm following the Michael Jackson data. Because it's a Michael Jackson, like, history that you can follow.
Yeah.
Now, at that time, I didn't know what I know now, and I would say a completely different thing to an artist if they yell like that now. But at that time, I was like, okay, this nigga just want to make he want to make the biggest shit.
He want to make Thriller.
So I remember this nigga sent me like Future had a record called "Bitch and I'll Never Be the Same." I can't remember how it goes. It's like I can't remember how that shit go, but it was Future early.
Yeah, so this sounded like mixtape Future.
It was super early.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, man, why the fuck you want to do this shit? Nigga? And my mind was like, this ain't no Michael Jackson shit. Right? And I remember like,
that's crazy.
I wasn't clowning Future because I didn't really know it.
Right.
I was just like, man, what the fuck is this, man? I thought we was talking about, in my mind,
Billie Jean.
I thought we were talking about fucking Michael Jackson.
Thriller.
Why you doing this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then Future blew the fuck up. Future ain't Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? For hood nigga, Future Michael Jackson.
Future is the hood nigga Michael Jackson.
For hood nigga, Future is Michael Jackson.
March Madness is Thriller.
But 1,000%. He ain't motherfucking goddamn on the west side.
Yes.
On the west side, that shit is goddamn Thriller. But I remember saying, I don't know if I was talking to Freeze or whatever. I was like, man, I was wrong. I had to come back and like, you know what I'm saying? Be like, damn, well, this Future shit hot. Like, but to this day, I know Forte be like, nah, nigga, right? You gotta eat that. I remember you told me that shit wasn't hot.
But I hear you, because if you say you want to be Michael Jackson, and you look at Michael Jackson, there's textures, there's tones, there's feelings, there's certain vibes.
Yeah.
So I might be thinking you about to go pop, or you trying to go,
bruh, I'm not
Silver
thinking
Glove,
about West Side, goddamn
trap, dirty trap too.
Dirty. That shit was so dirty and unmixed.
So you bring this back to me, I might look at you a little crazy.
Yeah, that's I was looking at him crazy more so. I didn't even know Future like storyline at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? I thought we doing Michael Jackson. I'm trying to go Michael Jackson too, nigga.
Yeah. That sounds good to me.
If a nigga tell me he want to be Michael Jackson today, I'm gonna laugh at him though.
Really?
Ain't gonna be another Michael Jackson.
Why you say that?
Well, unless that motherfucker been performing since he was 5, spinning in a circle with his brothers. Is it a Jackson 5 attached to that Michael Jackson? Is it a motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Them niggas was playing Vegas when he was goddamn.
You know
what I mean?
That's a good point. You try to come out the gate, say you gonna turn Michael Jackson at 25.
Yeah, Chris Brown, maybe Chris Brown when he started when he was 15.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay, if you more likely to be a Chris Brown or Weeknd.
But you know what? I give Drake credit because he did Degrassi. And that's entertainment.
He definitely did Degrassi.
Right? You doing TV early. So you have a relationship with entertaining people early that I think translates if you're going to do music or something like that.
He was famous.
Yeah, he was famous.
Literally famous in fucking Canada.
Yeah. Kind of famous though, because it wasn't like he was the biggest character on the show. He wasn't like the main character.
Bro,
and he got shot.
That nigga no famous than goddamn Carlton, nigga.
Yeah.
He was basically Carlton.
But if Carlton would have pivoted and made God's Plan, then he would have been bigger than Will.
I mean, it took Drake a long time before he got a God's Plan.
But that's a crack it up.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, but that's like he wasn't he wasn't a star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he played enough of the role to be famous.
It's kind of funny because it's reverse Will Smith who did music and then got the TV show because how they saw the music video. So, it's interesting. You got to do something entertaining though. You have to entertain people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like to play the game and be an introvert, can you still make it to like a superstar level?
You better have an introverted team. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be an introvert and you can build a brand around that. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of introverts. There's a lot of introverts that have come to the show because you're an introvert. Right. And they a fan that you was able to be that goddamn brave. and they fucking...
They want to trust some of that bravery.
They love you. Like, I could never do that.
That's hard.
But you got to be able to build a brand around the shit, though. You know what I'm saying?
So, in accordance to game night, you want to bring a guest up, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know who this guest will be.
We don't know. This is a crackerjack. This is a crackerjack box.
So, currently, how many RSVPs do you have for game night?
Game night, we got about 134 RSVP. We approved like 101.
So there's 101 people likely to come to the Roosevelt Hotel tonight.
Yep.
And one will join us on Fuck You Money.
Yep.
I don't know how Ty's going to pick this person.
Me either.
But whoever
I'm
y'all
a probably
see,
better nigga. Like, hey, whoever beat me in final Connect 4.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you get to come on the show.
You can come on the show.
Man, I don't know who this gonna be.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay tuned for the
you
second
have
part.
Random as hell. So they, like, yeah, boy, I spanked that nigga on that motherfucking Connect 4.
Whoever the best at games get to come talk about games on Fuck You Money. I like this concept because you never know who's gonna surprise you in the game.
Nah,
you just never know.
I'm gonna start playing golf. I'm gonna be 5'2". I'm about to talk crazy.
Wait, you went to a golf event recently, right?
Yeah, I went to the PGA, the US Open.
How was that?
Long. Yo, that shit be so crazy because you hear a crowd go crazy, you think somebody dunked. It's because the nigga got a hole in one. You think somebody scored a touchdown.
That's dumb.
They be like,
the guy going crazy.
He's like, what the fuck? But yeah, that shit be fly though.
Yeah.
I learned exactly how to play golf going to one golf tournament.
Okay, how long was it? How long? When did you get there? When did you leave?
4 days.
4 days?
No. It was the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 5 days. So the 14th was kind of like a hosting intro day, and then the other 4 days they was actually playing until they got into like the rounds. I went on the 15th, the 17th. Mm-hmm. I just went on the 15th and the 17th. I ain't going the 14th and the 16th. I was supposed to go on the 18th, but I tapped out.
You tapped out?
On the 15th, I was there the whole day. That was my office for the day. I was in that motherfucking suite drinking, goddamn taking Zoom calls and the Wi-Fi. I was in that bitch for like 9 hours.
But it sounded like a festival.
Hey, yeah, that shit. There was a lot of walking. That's why I started at that one area that I paid for, and just ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at that motherfucker.
So, of all the sporting events you've gone to so far this year, what has been like the highlight for you?
I would probably say, I don't know, it's a mix-up between Final Four for the college and Formula One. Mm-hmm. PG was cool. So the U.S. Open was very interesting because they had it at the Beverly Hills the Beverly Hills Country Club for the first time since 75 years. Mm-hmm. And the Beverly Hills Country Club is hundreds of acres. It's the most expensive piece of property estate in the state of California. Mm-hmm. It's worth billions of dollars. Like billions. Like 10, 20, 30 billions
That's
of
crazy.
Dollars. It's like almost, I think, like 200 acres or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah. In fucking Beverly Hills. Right. But yeah, it was interesting. The Final Four, college Final Four, and Formula One. Mm-hmm. Interesting different games.
All right, I'm not gonna hold you much longer because we got a guest coming. But
yeah, well, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna take one, take two.
I just can't believe. Yeah, you might end up with two.
Yeah, I might end up with. You never know.
There ain't no rules of this.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's up, gang?
We got new cameras for Fuck You Money. Look at you.
Sony A7?
Nah, it's the Sony.
Oh, have we rescheduled that?
ZV-1.
Oh, ZV-1. Oh,
We are available when you are.
wait, but hold on. Let's just get this straight. Y'all didn't know you were gonna have what guest was gonna be.
We had no idea who was gonna be.
That was part of the show.
So you said you were gonna go fish a guest.
We was gonna grab
So
somebody.
you pulled me off the host roll.
Not the host show.
Yes, you did.
That was a very sophisticated crowd.
Very
sophisticated crowd.
You didn't know. You just came and got me and pulled me up to your room, yo. That's disrespectful. You gotta pay for something a little bit, my nigga. Where the food at?
Did you eat?
What kind of the game is this? Isn't the theme playing the game?
Welcome back to Fuck You Money.
Welcome back to Fuck You Money.
Welcome back to Fuck You Money.
All right.
So, as we told you all in the first half of Fuck You Money, that we was gonna go to game night and we was gonna find a sophisticated guest. We found a sophisticated guest.
That's a really nice way of saying it. It's gonna pick a hoe up off the street and use them for their advantage.
Can you introduce yourself, sophisticated guest?
I don't want to do that, but I'll do it. My name is Malcolm Mays, and I am here because apparently they just put their hand in the hat and just picked out a fucking name.
Wow, you were doing so great at game now. You thought you could talk about play games.
I didn't play none of the games, yo.
Yeah. No,
I didn't
See, that's that pimp shit. That's how I know I'm being hoe.
No, I see you play the game.
No.
Okay. You had something in your hand and it went domino. I seen it. I think it was like the hood version of Django.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, now you
So, yeah, like you don't know what time it is. It is playing game times.
Yes, sir.
So, the thought process of like fuck you money, and you've been following the show, you read the book, and like it was game night tonight, so we started talking about playing a game.
Culture's game night, branded
Yeah,
culture.
it was definitely Culture's game night, and a lot of artists have a hard time playing a game.
Correct.
A lot of business entrepreneurs have a hard time playing the game.
Correct.
So we wanted to spend, a really hot 30, 45 minutes talking about, from your perspective, when it comes to playing a game, how does that relate to your journey to fuck your money?
Exit strategy.
1,000%.
The goal of playing the game is to exit the game.
Okay.
The goal of playing the game is to leave the game, is to divorce yourself from the game. Even in investments, as we talk about all the time, and Yoh, I'm sure you talk about with him often, is what is your exit strategy? And your exit strategy is from whatever the prescribed, pre-given construct is that you are not fulfilling aligned with, fulfilled. And what I think people, because our people specifically have found ourselves placed into games that we never decided to play in the first place, we resent the game, we hate the game, we're bitter about the game.
The game wasn't made for us.
The game wasn't made for you. But unfortunately, unless you plan on anarchy, and by the way, every country that has been with people like us that have overturned the table to the game still end up slaves to a game. Because the game is commerce, the game is economics, the game is marketplace. That will always exist. Now, what will be valued in that marketplace, we can argue about, we can whether it's going to be socialism, communism, capitalism. Everybody wants to argue about isms, but the reality is all of it is who you want to be your fucking master. Who's going to be the game master? Socialism, the game master is community, each other. Communism is the game master is the government, right? Which should represent us, but let's be honest. And then there's capitalism, which the market is now your master, which you got to pick one.
I prefer that now.
Right, it seems a little more fair. But I would say this: fuck everybody. You still supposed to be plotting your escape from massacre. That's the goal. So for me, playing the game is about exiting the game and having a very good strategy on how to get out.
Thinking about it from a standpoint of, the exit strategy, it makes it, I feel like it's more palatable to play the game when you go into it knowing, you know what, I have an exit strategy.
There's a final level to this game.
Correct. And often for people, there isn't one. Or it feels like there isn't one. Because they don't have a plan. And by the way, some people have a plan in the way this life is set up, nigga. You so far back behind a monopoly board. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to pretend like everybody has a shot at exiting the game.
No.
That's the coldest reality that nobody wants to admit. But for those of us who are lucky enough to be blessed with the keys to how to get to the next levels, which is what? Information, right? Those of us blessed with information. And then there's another level of us who are blessed with not only information, but application. Some of us ain't blessed with that. Some of us got to partner with people, collaborate with people who have application versus art. Hence why I'm using this nigga to make my music go.
Okay.
I'm not an applier in that. Now, if you want to come apply some shit in film TV, I got it. You want to come apply some shit in finance, real estate, investment, trust, he has a little bit of information. We can put both of our information and now we both Same thing with you. There's journalism that I need to understand. Words, people, relationships, pulling people randomly out of parties to use their fucking resources and not pay them.
Sophisticated.
I go to you.
Sophisticated.
So sometimes you gotta be gracious and understanding of your own blessings and latitude and leverage, even when it's not financial, which is my mama's gifts, my mama's information, my collaboration with you, these fine people behind this camera, people who support you. That shit is resource. That all can help you get about this game.
Yeah, I think that I was talking to this baseball player who had recently forcefully retired. Not to say that he, decided to retire. I think he had paid like 11 years. And I was talking to him and I said, "What's the plan now?" He said, "I'm trying to figure it out." I said, "You was too afraid to realize that the game is gonna end."
Yes, sir.
When you're playing. And he looked at me, he was like, yeah. I said, that's what happened with us athletes. We don't want it to end. So we just avoid the ending, right? And now you're something that you could have been planning 11 years ago. You're starting fresh, trying to figure it out now. Because you was too afraid to look past the ending, like to look like this is gonna end.
Aren't we all victims of that? Like,
1,000%.
But why do you think athletes have that problem?
Because they're in love with the game.
Because that's just all they know.
They're in love with the game.
Oh, they be in love.
And love blinds you, bro. Like, not that love is a great thing, but it can blind you. If you're in love with something, you often are not trying to look to forecast where it will fail. That's why people don't sign prenups. They don't make best business decisions, get with people that probably are not developed to their equally yoked. It's because you're in love.
That's why I do well in the music business.
You don't. Jesus Christ.
I
know he don't, but it just makes me sad every time because the game love him.
But what I do love, I love the results of helping creative people find independence through an industry that's historically been predatory of people that make music. It don't matter if you're white, black. Like you got everybody got fucked. Everybody got screwed.
The Doors. Everybody.
So my passion through this business is seeing people that love it being able to truly see it change their lives. So for me,
to have a healthy relationship with it.
1,000%. So it's easy for me to have a healthy relationship with it because I don't love it, right? So I can see it for what it is.
Because it's not clouded.
Because it's not clouded by vision, right?
Damn.
Versus like sports. I love sports.
God damn.
So I can easily be like swayed or taken advantage of. It's music you're not taking advantage of. I'm like, fuck it, cancel everything. They're like, wait a minute, you don't want to cancel this? Yes, I do. I don't give a fuck about it. And it makes people be like, wait a minute, then they just give you whatever you want.
Correct.
Because I literally have no real interest in, like, for music, that has literally been my like trajectory on Fuck You Money. But I'm just
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most successful managers in music.
If you don't give a fuck about it, it seems that people want to support you. Like give you what you want because they just don't want you to exit out of the game. Instead of me playing certain games in music, since I don't love it, I just be like, why quit?
This,
like, no.
You know what this sounds like? The advice that my big homies gave me about women when I was a child. And it's sad because it's toxic as fuck. But unfortunately, it works when you playing games. It don't work when you trying to fall in love. This is cold. I hate you, Ty.
So this is the perspective, right? The perspective is, I used to play football with this nigga named Zoe, right? Zoe was extremely talented, right? He never tied up his shoes. He literally played football. He never tied up his shoes. In the game, in practice, he never tied his shoes. And he caught the ball with his tippy fingers. Like he caught all the balls with the tip of his
Spider
finger.
nigga, got it.
He just literally does
Spider nigga, got it.
But like, he would get so many opportunities, but it's just like he didn't give a fuck. Like, he just didn't care about it.
He just was good at that.
And opportunities just come to them, right? And so it's this sweet spot with the universe that if you give a fuck enough, and you don't give a fuck enough, opportunity just finds you, right? But then you got somebody who's like in love with the shit, and the shit just be
evading
you be like, hug the shit.
Is this podcast about money or my love life? Because you know what? I'm about pissed.
But isn't it true that
like
you want the most, that you want to attract running for you?
Wait, say it again.
The things you want the most, like the thing you desire the most, is what's the hardest to grasp.
Okay, let's talk Bible. Even though that it's not a document that everybody agrees on.
Yeah.
Thou who covets, right? Right? You destroy. Because when you idolize, right?
Come on.
Yes.
All right. So even if you don't view the Bible as your spiritual manuscript, you can look at it as a book of good advice.
Right.
So it's funny enough, Bible strike again, when you over covet something beyond, it will decay in your hand.
You gotta have a healthy manifestation process. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I've always looked at right. So this is how I view money, right? I grew up seeing money being made in illegal ways, right? So I thought that it was like a normal thing to make money, right? Then when I came out of high school and realized it was hard as fuck to make money,
they just made that shit look real saucy.
Like, how this work, right?
Right.
Then I got put on this journey by this guy named Courtney. that literally showed me that money wasn't real, right? The moment I learned that money wasn't real, I started to real, and at the same time I was learning about the secret and manifestation. So it ends up happening, the universe is like this. If you want to make money, you go and work. It doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's.
Correct.
If you want to make money, you put money, energy in the atmosphere. Most people that don't want to work, they don't realize that they're attracting not working into their environment, right? So even if you go get a job, you don't met the nigga that started somewhere.
Yes, sir.
At McDonald's or Trader Joe's, and they just work their way up, and it seemed like these opportunities just kept coming to them, right? And it's the same thing, like if you want something, you speak towards that thing, right?
You give it life, you pour into it.
You speak towards that thing. If you don't want something, you speak negatively towards it. But everybody, so when you're complaining, the universe is complaining back at you.
Bring it to you.
It's a feedback.
Yeah, like literally, if you're complaining, but if you're speaking love, the universe brings love back to you, right? So when you're thinking about the negativity that you're saying, rather if it's just like, man, damn, I'll never get no parking space. The universe is gonna say, your wish is my command. You're never gonna get a parking space, right? And it's one of those things where you gotta really understand that, once again, for Bible, the tongue is also the sword. They can protect you or they can kill you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these different aspects of it. So when we start talking about playing the game, we gotta really sit down and be like, okay, first of all, I gotta play the game myself before I walk out of this house.
Because how do you know where you're going to land, and what is going to be enough? And I think that the key part of my exit strategy, not that anybody, thank you for asking, yo. The key part of my exit strategy is,
I have an exit strategy too.
I know you did. I know we talked. Now, yo, I'd actually be curious to hear yours after I say mine, because I think that you get to learn a lot about a person when you ask them not only what do they want, but how do they plan about getting it. You get to learn about process, and you get to learn about desire. And for me, instinctually, I went, what do I want the most in life? What is my desire, man? I want my grandma to be good. I wanted my grandma to be good. I want my mother to be good, stable, financially, mentally, physically, and health-wise. I wanted for my future seed to be provided for, whether I was here or not. I wanted to be prepared to, if I have love in my life, to be able to sustain a relationship and mechanics, because divorce is usually problems with money. And I wanted to be able to live and create freely without having a master. I've done about 3 of those things, right? Mom and grandma's good, but the direction that I always had, it was never, damn, I need to make a bunch of money because I want to have a bunch of money. I don't need a bunch of fun tickets to validate my human. It was, I want the life of comfort and peace that I never had as growing up because of the lack of it, right? So that was a true North Star. That was a very strong why. The process for me was, okay, well, what are the mechanics? I didn't have the language to express. I knew that my desires were there, but I didn't have the language to express how to go along that journey. Going upon finding out information, being around educated people such as yourselves, I decided, so you mean to tell me, because I used to think when you don't have the information, you're like, I gotta go get rich and famous in order to buy my mama a house.
Right.
No one tells you, well, nigga, where do you want your house to be? Because houses cost different places. Okay, how much money do you need to sustain that house? How much money will you need to work and make every year? Will you be able to work? What happens if you can't work? Right? We just think, I'm gonna hit this number, and then everything is solved. Money has a velocity. Money has a propensity of movement. So you have to be able to go, what do I want? What is the price tag on it? What will that price tag be 18 years from now, 30 years from now, post-loan, post-interest, post-labor, post-exit? What is my body built for? What can I take physically? Because if I can't sustain the labor that it takes to build that, I need to have some kind of money making money on itself. How can I make that much money? Where will that interest benefit me? And then it becomes a very dense process, but there are plans for this. And it became very apparent to me and very easy for me to understand, $2.5 to $3.5 million in the next 5 to 10 years. In a portfolio that generates an interest of 10%, will provide the lifestyle post-taxes, and also be able to take a little bit of it to reinvest in that principle to keep growing, where we can all live cool, niggas can go to great schools, my mama don't have to worry about shit, if I have a woman, she don't have to worry about shit, if we live, and we'll live a middle class, upper middle class lifestyle.
Upper middle class lifestyle.
And that is fine. Anything more than that, blessings on blessings on blessings. So that to me was very specific, right? I know where I wanted to live. Now it changes. If I want to live in Mississippi, I'm already that.
Oh yeah, you lit.
I'm already lit. I don't even eat about. I'm already that nigga. I don't even gotta do this with y'all. Y'all can see me later.
Whole ranch and everything.
Cause you got fucking money if you in Mississippi.
I've been had fucking money in Mississippi. I got, I'm borderline here and that. So, but the reality is, where's my unit? When I have a child, where is the support system going to be for the family? Right? Where is my people at?
They're very important.
We're all here. Yeah. Community is important. So those are the things that I think people neglect when they just go, I don't want to work this stupid ass job no more. Yeah. I want to be a dreamer and work on my dream. That's great. Earn it.
Yeah.
What is your exit strategy from your labor? Mm-hmm. It's very important. You know, so I would be curious to know what is your.
I got a question for you first.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you tell us when you first entered the game?
I think when I was born. Because I entered this game with my family in debt. We're behind the board. This is Monopoly. This is Monopoly. Like, we came in with, no reparations, 5 years of extreme blah blah blah. My granddaddy had worked 5 jobs in Louisiana, had 16 children. All right. My great grandfather had 16 children. My grandmother was the second to youngest of all those kids, and she migrated to Los Angeles. Now, when she came here, she used to have a husband who worked in the Air Force. Boom, boom, boom. He cheated on her, and then beat on her a little bit. And she's like, nigga, hit me again, I'll stab you. So then she went on her own, and she found a way to make a way. Right? She was in downtown building Eisenhower jackets. She worked 3 jobs for the school system. She still has a pension from that to this day. She got her first. She was the first person in our family to get a degree. It was an AA, but it was a degree. So she made those first steps towards us, where we started behind in the game. She's like, okay, well, we're gonna be a little bit further. And my mama came in. She was stupid, nigga. She was like, all right, I'm going to school, USC. I'm gonna get a management degree. But then she married the wrong nigga. I love my father, but the reason I say the wrong nigga is not because of her heart. She married the right nigga for her heart, the wrong nigga for her circumstance, because he couldn't move her further in the game. He had potential to, almost did, but because he didn't understand his own self-help and wellness, if he had a class with y'all, he would have known this business, although it makes me money, is going to destroy me too early, so I won't ever see the real benefits of it. He got destroyed by it, went back to the hood, right? Had progress, went back to the hood. So my mother actually didn't have a bad discernment. It's just things didn't work out. So we moved a little forward, but not nowhere near forward as we needed to. Then I came along and I said, all right, fuck this, now we rich, right? And that was because of all their hard work and their lessons and their investments and their long-term investments towards things. So when you ask me, when did you enter the game? Nigga, before, when my mama and my daddy made love and they decided not to abort, I was here. We were already in the game. Generations of poverty, generations of trauma, you in the game. And some people are built to be able to sustain how far back they can to get us where we need. And some people aren't. And so, I started the game the moment I was a thought, honestly. And it's just been a rough game. But shit a little better. You know?
I mean, it sounds better.
It sounds a little better. It's a little better.
Yeah, definitely way better.
It's a little better. Definitely way better. Yeah, we try to do a little something. But I'm still not, there's still things. Like, there's still things.
No, of course. You haven't hit the exit strategy yet, so it's gonna still be things.
I'm still in this bitch. I'm here talking to y'all niggas. Like, God damn it!
Come on, you party.
It was that
hanging out.
Very sophisticated.
You know what I'm saying? But you with the right people.
It was business. Yeah. Just get out of y'all.
But I think for me, my exit strategy has been in development since I decided to kind of pivot out of what I was doing, which was journalism, and do things that was out of the ordinary for me. So we started a film company called Rap Portraits, right? So we started doing documentaries. And we had very specific kind of theme as far as we wanted to document rappers, a day in your life, but on a significant day, right? So it had to be an important day in your life. So when we started doing those, it was my first time working with film and building a film company. Now my partner, he had a relationship with film because his dad had a studio in New Orleans, a sound studio.
He's further along in the game.
Exactly. Well, in that game, but I had relationships. So we paired ourselves together. I knew all the rappers. He knew everything about film development. And we had a specific style. You can score. So we had a sound. So things were developing for us because we paired what we did together well. So now it's about taking that to the next level.
Okay.
But it's still, I think I'm still learning that game.
Okay.
But I left the game, I knew more. Journalism, I knew way better. It's been 5. That's how I met him. I met him in that game.
That's how I met you. I met your work first.
So, but changing from that game, I didn't understand changing the game. I understood playing the game because I always thought I was telling my man Crook this. I did not look up how much journalists made. I said, if you're the best at this, you're gonna make the most. That's what I wanted to do. I learned that the relationships I had was priceless. The money I made
It's trash.
but the relationships,
Yeah.
man, I met so many people that I would have never met any other way in my entire life. So then turning those relationships into film,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm on to something.
Okay.
But it's still learning a different game for me.
Right.
But once I gotta go to New York tomorrow for a meeting about this game I'm playing now that I feel like took 2.5 years to get there. And I think that meeting is gonna help us elevate to the point where I can start to see an exit for myself.
Oh, amen. All right. Amen.
But it's still in development. I feel like I learned a lot from Ty, but I also learned that how long it took. Writing the Culture Playbook, when he told me about working at Delta, I didn't know any other person that managed an artist that worked a job.
That's crazy.
I did not know anyone else that did that. So then I remember talking to Ty one New Year's, I don't know if you remember this, but we were talking, and I think it might have been like
You worked at Delta?
7 years.
7 years. Ty didn't quit Delta until, 2020?
May 2018.
2018, right? But me and Ty, I remember, I think I talked to you that year, New Year's Eve, and Ty was like, bro, we're not even on year 5 yet.
Sir, Crew had already came out.
Yes, he was still working
You
at
already
Delta.
had a gold album.
Still
I
working at
started
Delta.
working at Delta in May 2011. And I said I'm gonna start working at Delta when it harms me from making money.
This nigga different.
So,
that
so-
man built different,
So
baby.
you see someone have that level of patience
Yeah, that's correct.
to learn the game before leaving a game. I appreciated that about his story.
Yeah.
It let me know that you can wait and learn and develop, and then you can leave one game because you're ready for the next game.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that in mind when I left the game I was playing. But
Okay.
I knew I had a partner that understood his game far better than I did, and he trusted that my relationship that I built was going to help us further along in ways that he didn't have.
That's the
So
key.
I do believe in building a community with people
Yeah.
who know games that you might not be playing,
Yeah.
but you can still bring the traits and the development that you have from the games you play
So you can exchange.
and make a better game.
That's fact.
100%.
That's pretty dope.
So it's just working toward a better game for me.
That's dope. That's dope. You like, nigga, I'm gonna change it. That's different. I like
Shit,
that.
I don't know. Don't say change it now.
You said change the game to beat.
God,
Change
God.
the game to beat. I know he died for trying to change the game, but you said it.
But-
He said it. I ain't.
But nah, I just knew we were playing a different game.
Correct.
And I hope that by the time we do get where we're going, that some things have been changed. I think the Culture Playbook is a game changer.
That's a fact.
I think it's a game changer. And not only that I think it's a game changer, I think high transparency
Yeah.
is so rare in a business that tried to kind of keep some keys.
No, man, that first article, that's why I sought him out. I knew he was a game changer. I knew he had keys. I knew Chris will tell you. Chris, my initial manager and I, we first started by how we gonna crack this game, this music game. We want to do this. How can we make this sustainable? How can we make this a thing and generate more than just creativity, but also sustainability?
Mm-hmm.
And we started looking at examples of enterprises and structures that were built. And I came upon that DJ Booth article that you did with this man. And this nigga was just snitching on the industry, just snitching.
Let me tell you what's so special about that article. Me and Ty get linked up with the call. Never met this man before in my life. Never talked before in our lives. We get on the phone call. There's maybe 10 minutes of that audio that was not published as a transcript. I don't know if I asked one or two questions, he just started talking. He just started talking. And I'm taking it all in. And I know you know this in this industry, but there's times when people talking about, hey, bro, this is off the record. This is off the record. Don't share
You
this
can't
with
say
nobody.
nobody.
Everything he said sounded like it should have been off the record. I'm waiting for him to finish thinking like, all right, now we can get started with the stuff I can publish. And he was like, are you good? I was like, wait, am I good? Are you good?
Print that.
Are you good? No, I did. I called my editor. I said, hey, just talk to Ty. We got to publish the whole thing. The whole thing. He said, the whole thing? I said, the whole thing. So I sent it over to him. He was like, we got to publish the whole thing. He said, this whole thing got to go.
Man,
I don't know if Ty ever told you,
man,
but
my country ass ain't never off the record.
he did not know.
Because in my mind,
Ty didn't know I was recording.
I was like, there ain't no way he got out of here. He gonna get all that.
He gonna
My
remember this.
country ass, I'm like, he ain't gonna remember all that.
That thing dropped. I read every word 3 times.
Hold on. So this is my favorite part of the story. Ty is in a meeting when the story dropped. he didn't know it was coming out that day.
Yeah, definitely.
He checked his Twitter. He got so many mentions. He think Brit in trouble.
I got counseled. This nigga said some dumb shit. I got counseled. Now I fucked up all my money. So I didn't even read the shit until like I got to a little bit through the day, and I read it and I opened it, and it was like Brent Fayez manager unveils the darts. Oh shit!
Pulls back the
Then
curtain.
I definitely ain't looking the shit to the end of the day.
Tyler's dug it. Yeah.
He's ducking the smoke.
But it was such a transparent story.
Yeah.
I've never heard no one talk like that about music and business before. So I knew when it came out, I just knew it was hot because Twitter was hot.
Yeah, you knew.
But as I've grown and learned, so many people read that article. I
did multiple times. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't even be doing music right now if it wasn't because I read that shit. Because when I read it, I went, oh, these niggas is lying. This nigga telling the truth. Where this nigga at? And then my manager's so cold, I called Chris and said, hey, you know this nigga? He's like, I know him. I said, how? Because Cornish knows everybody randomly. And then, of course, shout out to Jay Electronica and his manager, Supreme. He was like, yeah, that shit was purely divinely manifested. Speaking of, I'm not necessarily the biggest believer of manifestation. But I do, though, because I the way that I came upon him, me and Chris could not find him online. As you know, as a fellow non-internet nigga, he had no social media. So one of the biggest R&B artists alive, probably of all time, especially by Prophet and Delta, his manager, the architect of this situation, was nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you mean the nigga that made this? Because when I found out Brent was independent, I went nuts. Then when I read your article, I went even more nuts. And I gotta find him. Couldn't find you anywhere. And I told Chris, we gotta find him. He's like, I know him, can't find him. I'm like, oh, that's great. This nigga's the boogeyman. Right. And then I'm talking to Supreme because, shout out to Supreme because he didn't know at the time that I had Cornish as a manager. He was just interested in me musically. And Def Jam had been calling, Motown had been calling. And something in my spirit said, don't sign with these majors. So I'm told him. And because I was like, I got the money, I can fund my own shit off of it. And I'm risky enough and stupid enough to do it. So but I'm not dumb enough to do it with no plan, with no exit strategy. All right, come on, come on, y'all didn't hang around.
This episode might be called Extra Strategy. You might have changed the name to
right. And then Supreme, well, don't start playing the game unless you got one. And then Supreme told me, he's like, I'm talking about, he's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, man, I want freedom. I want creative freedom. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to do my shit and not have nobody tell me nothing. It's really not even about all these percentages and back end and masters. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want nobody telling me what I can and can't say about my journey. Absolutely. I'm not that kind of artist. And he's like, well, what are the examples? I said, well, did you know this nigga Brent Fayez was independent? He's like, yeah, I know. I said, you do? He's like, yeah. I was like, so you heard about this guy Ty, who set up all his businesses and shit? He's like, yeah, that's my guy. I'm like, what do you mean that's your guy? He's like, hey, look, I'm gonna connect you with him. He calls Ty. Ty is in New Orleans. Yeah. Where Supreme and Jay live. Oh, wow. Which, when's the last time you had been in New Orleans?
Yeah, I haven't been to New Orleans in a long time. I thought the nigga Supreme had I see you rock next to niggas got this damn fence or something up in New Orleans. And you just randomly call my phone.
That's crazy.
I'm like, goddamn,
gotta check in.
Got going on. Yeah, I'm like, niggas, what y'all got going on in Rock Nation, man?
And then he was like, nah, I just want to connect you with my boy. And we connected. And that just came from, once again, speaking life into an idea and manifesting. I'll concede it to the universe. And now here we are. Now, if that works, I'll pray to God that our union between Cornish, myself, you, Jane, Vanessa, the whole team, culture team, you, and that it breeds the kind of results that we want, because it's just a beautiful story. It would be a beautiful story because it came from just speaking out what I desired from the universe.
Yeah. One of the things that is very powerful when it comes to birthing artistry is when everybody that's touching the art, rather than the creative, or rather they're the janitor or the assistant or the engineer, is speaking in the same direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's speaking in the same direction and like tentative, because when we was developing these things early, there wasn't a lot of people on the business side, but there was a lot of people on the creative side. And everybody was focused on one goal, just trying to get this record right and get this record out. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that, that's why overall with community and things spread a certain way, is because you have